Hello, this is a Retired Farm Boy channel. My name is Jeff. I want to welcome you back to my new video. I hope you will stay to the end and take some of the happy thoughts that I'm going to present at the end, considering how the topic of this video sounds a little bit sad. I will admit that this was an extremely tough video for me to put together. It made me think about ones that I have known that didn't make it to retirement. We all probably know many people, perhaps, that didn't make it to retirement. We probably know real close people in our lives that might not have made it to retirement. Those moments change you. There's no doubt about it. But I also think that, you need to look at the perspective of those people that passed away would have wanted us to continue on, to have the best life that we could have for as long as we could have it. So that's the perspective that I want you to think of this video as we talk through it. We'll put some more thoughts to that, happy thoughts to that at the end of the video as well. So I've had a lot of relatives, not a lot, when I say a lot, I know I can think of three in my family that passed away earlier than retirement. A couple of them were cousins of mine that, I remember playing with them when I was a kid. I've also known friends and acquaintances that, wasn't fortunate enough to get to retirement. When I talk about my high school graduating class, we were a class of 50 people. We were a biggest class in the last 4 years at that time. We were definitely in a smaller farming community, as you can tell. 12 of my classmates have passed away, and that's over 20%. And when I thought about that, I thought, man, that's a huge statistics. Not a single one of those people either made it to retirement. There was a couple that went to part-time work, but none of them had fully retired yet. So I thought that 20% was awful high, but when you get to thinking about as you age, we were all 63, 64, as you get older, unfortunately, these kind of statistics will continue to get larger and bigger numbers. It's just part of the circle of life. But those people were not, although I was very good friends with the people I just discussed, but they weren't close to me. And they didn't, not that I didn't grieve when they passed. It wasn't just something that was close, like a parent or a sibling or something like that. So, you can sort of move on beyond them. You hate it for them. You think they didn't get the opportunity to go through this thing called retirement, like I did. I'm 2 years into retirement now. I say in every one of my videos, retirement is great, and I truly mean that. I mean, it's actually a little better than I thought it might be. I thought I might be bored. I thought I might not have enough time to do some of the things that I thought I wanted to do, but I've got plenty of time to do anything. I still have a farm that I'm a working farm, so I'm staying busy anyway. It's my part-time job. It's not like I'm not doing anything, for sure, but I've also had my time get taken away from me as well. Well, these people that I'm talking about that passed away before retirement, they didn't get to experience that. They didn't get to complain like I do sometimes about, I don't have enough time to do this or enough time to do that. They didn't experience the joys that I'm having of being able to go to my grandkids' baseball games, if they're in the state tournaments or whatever, and being able to take my family to doctor's appointments if they don't have anybody to take them and they need somebody to drive them. I'm able to do that. So it's sad that those people didn't get that opportunity, but like I said, they would have wanted the best for us. And that's the way I want to go into this next phase of this video. I want to talk about some people in my life that were close to me, and that I lost in a very short period of time, in a 6-month period of time. And I wanted to give these people their due a little bit when I talk about them, because they were all great people to me. And I just want to, give them their due by being able to finally be able to open up and tell people about this. I've never really tried to talk to anybody about this period of time and how it was for me, except to my wife. So this is a special moment for me to be able to tell this story as well. So in December of 2008, my dad passed away. He actually passed away December 28th, and we ended up burying him last day of the year of that year. The great thing about all of this, that I, again, looking for that bright moment and everything, is my dad had been sick for a year or more, and you could tell that he was deteriorating, his health was, but you're never ready for it. But one thing I can say is he had a great Christmas. He was feeling good during that time. He was cutting up the jokes and everything that he normally does. He was a jokester, and the family all looked up to him. And so when he passed, it was extremely tough. Now, me being the oldest child, I felt like I had to sort of take on the role of watching out for everybody. And I don't know that I had to actually do that, but I just felt like I did. And I know my mom needed me to help her for sure. And so I took on that responsibility. I never had went through planning for a burial before. So that was something new that I got experience to. All the paperwork that comes along with that you need to do after someone passes away. I was wrapped up in trying to get all that done, and that I really was not able to grieve, I don't think. I think the family had a better chance to grieve, but I was so busy with family things that I didn't get a chance to. Well, in February, 2 months later, my best friend passed away. Now, that was totally unexpected. It really caught me off guard big time. I can remember sitting in my office and getting a call about it, and I just sort of cried a little bit. I prayed a little bit, and then I got up and left and went to go see his wife and daughter, try to console them and help them in any way I could. Mike was my best friend in the truest sense. We shared everything with each other. We held nothing back from each other in our thoughts or anything else, our dreams and everything. So when I say we told each other everything, I do mean everything. We were extremely close. Probably the best friend that I've ever had in my life, and likely will not find another Mike, but that's okay. I had the pleasure of having a great best friend at least one time in my life, and that's wonderful to have. So Mike was 48 years old when he passed away. He was the same age as me. So he was, we had actually, talked about when we get old, what are we going to do in retirement and things like that. But, we were still young enough at that time to where, we were saving for retirement, obviously. But, retirement was still so far off. It was more of a joking thing about retirement than anything. Mike was a goofball. He loved to joke. He was very funny. His nickname was Golden Boy, because when he got hired at the job where we met, he had an opportunity about 6 months in to get on a special project, as they call it. And we all started kidding him after that he was the golden boy on the team, that he got to do that project. But it was very tough. I actually think that Mike's passing was as hard on me as when my dad passed. I think some of that was probably because I was still reeling from my dad, and you know, I just wasn't prepared for something like this to hit me again. The funeral was very tough for me to get through, and you know, everybody knows when you lose somebody close, it's just difficult. So again, I don't know that I was able to grieve much because I was trying to, you know, still deal with my dad's situation, and you know, trying to help Mike's family as best I could, and just really didn't know how to really act in the way of grieving. So the final shoe dropped in May of that year. Just 3 months later, my brother passed away. Now, man, I think it was piling up on me by this point. My brother and I were close, but we were close in the sense of family close. He was a farmer his whole life. I was in the computer industry by that time for 10 or 15 years, and you know, we just led different lives, so we didn't see each other that much. Farmers, as the ones that know that do farm, you know, they work crazy hours, especially during harvest and planting seasons. And so there's a lot of times I didn't get to see him for a month or two at a time. We'd have a family get together and stuff like that, and I'd see him. But you know, we didn't go to, our life wasn't in the same circle. And but man, when he died, it just totally devastated me. I remember at the funeral just breaking down, you know, and uncontrollably crying. One of the few times in my life I think I've ever done that. And I think everything just hit me at once. And I actually, you know, went through the suffering that Rodney went through. My brother's name was Rodney. He was 43 too, very young, 6 years younger than I was. And I watched him go from working every day in January to not being able to hardly do anything for himself, and was in a wheelchair in March, and he passed away in May. So, you know, in 5 months period of time, he was gone, and I was there for all of that. I, you know, was there every day with my mom and him, trying to help him out. And you know, I was at the hospital staying with him all the time. He was in the hospital in and out a lot, and he ended up passing away. He was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and man, it took him away quickly. So this was, I was really reeling. I don't think that I grieved any of those 3 people. Luckily, that was the last shoe to drop for me. If it had been any others, I don't know what I would have done. But it was a tough 6 months after that on me, because I know I was trying to grieve myself now. I was able to finally grieve a little for all 3 of them. And so one day I woke up towards the end of 2009. I can't remember exact date, but I know it was, you know, cold, and I think it might have been in November. I just woke up one day, and it hit me that I call it my moral moment, to where I just decided that, you know, I need to get out of this slump that I'm in and be positive. You know, turn my life into making these tragedies become a positive thing in my way of thinking. So I call it my moral moment, because I think that's the time when I really realized, you know, I'm mortal. I'm going to pass away as well. And, you know, you start looking at things a little differently when you finally get to that point in your life. And no exception for me. So I tell this tale, and it's been difficult. You probably can tell, but when I think back to those three people in particular, along with all the many others that I know that didn't make it to retirement like I did, you know, I just think about they would want me to be happy. They would want me to be the best that I could be. They would want me to enjoy my life the rest of the time that I have. So when I'm out on the farm working, as an example, I may have a thought, and I'm really frustrated trying to fix something, or having to build something that I need for the sheep. As an example, you know, I'll sort of laugh a little bit when I think about my dad or my brother, who could do anything. He laughing at me trying to finish those projects. So cherish the memories that you have of these lost ones that you cherish so much. They would want you to be happy. They would want you to take life to the fullest and do and live and do the things that they weren't able to do. So you're somewhat living their lives as well, and that's a great thing to think about in that way. For me, I appreciate knowing that, you know, I knew those people, I was close to those people, and you know, I've got memories of all three of them that keep me going forever, and that's what they would have wanted. So I want to close today's video in that regard. Just stay positive. There's always something that can come out of anything. These kind of events definitely change you. I think now that I'm a better son for my mom, I'm a better husband to my wife, or at least I hope so. And you know, just go on with life and live it to the fullest, just like they would have wanted you to. So until next time, thank you. This is Jeff, the Retired Farm Boy, signing off.